Section 7 of The Einstein Theory of Relativity by Hendrik A. Lorentz. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Avai in February 2020. Difficulty exaggerated. During a discussion of the results obtained at a joint meeting of the Royal Society and the Royal Astronomical Society, held especially for that purpose recently in London, it was the general opinion that Einstein's prediction might be regarded as justified, and warm tributes to his genius were made on all sides. Nevertheless, I cannot refrain, while I am mentioning it, from expressing my surprise that, according to the report in The Times, there should be so much complaint about the difficulty of understanding the new theory. It is evident that Einstein's little book, about the special and the general theory of relativity in plain terms, did not find its way into England during wartime. Anyone reading it will, in my opinion, come to the conclusion that the basic ideas of the theory are really clear and simple. It is only to be regretted that it was impossible to avoid clothing them in pretty involved mathematical terms, but we must not worry about that. I allow myself to add that, as we follow Einstein, we may retain much of what has been formerly gained. The Newtonian theory remains in its full value as the first great step, without which one cannot imagine the development of astronomy, and without which the second step, that has now been made, would hardly have been possible. It remains, moreover, as the first, and in most cases sufficient, approximation. It is true that, according to Einstein's theory, because it leaves us entirely free as to the way in which we wish to represent the phenomena, we can imagine an idea of the solar system in which the planets follow paths of peculiar form and the rays of light shine along sharply bent lines. Think of a twisted and distorted planetarium. But in every case where we apply it to concrete questions, we shall so arrange it that the planets describe almost exact ellipses and the rays of light almost straight lines. It is not necessary to give up entirely even the ether. Many natural philosophers find satisfaction in the idea of a material intermediate substance in which the vibrations of light take place, and they will very probably be all the more inclined to imagine such a medium when they learn that, according to the Einstein theory, gravitation itself does not spread instantaneously, but with a velocity that at the first estimate may be compared with that of light. Especially in former years, where such interpretations current and repeated attempts were made by speculations about the nature of the ether and about the mutations and movements that might take place in it, to arrive at a clear presentation of electromagnetic phenomena and also of the functioning of gravitation. In my opinion, it is not impossible that in the future this road, indeed abandoned at present, will once more be followed with good results, if only because it can lead to the thinking out of new experimental tests. Einstein's theory need not keep us from so doing, only the ideas about the ether must accord with it. Nevertheless, even without the color and clearness that the ether theories and the other models may be able to give,